Peeking is the sweet art of aiming around corners, over hilltops, out of windows, or any time that you would expose yourself to shoot another player. While it may seem simple just to aim and shoot, there are some best practices that you could be using to avoid getting knocked or killed when in a gunfight. First, let's touch on Peeker's advantage and how it can benefit or hurt you in a fight. If you haven't already watched WackyJackys' video on Peeker's advantage, I would heavily suggest doing so. I will leave his link down below. In short, due to hit registration taking place on the client side, meaning your PC, there will always be a noticeable delay between when your bullets are fired, when the servers accept that data, and send it to the other player's client to register. Players with higher ping are more impacted by this than lower ping players, and can cause severe desync, which can sometimes make it feel like you've died instantly. Because of Peeker's advantage, being the aggressor in fights will always benefit you. If you are able to get the peek in, have your shots placed right on target before the other player, you stand a greater chance of winning that engagement, unless they get those 1 to 2 lucky headshots in beforehand. So just keep that in mind as we go through this video. This one may seem obvious to some, but I'm throwing this in here just in case. One of the best changes I've made to improve the speed and efficiency of my peeks was switching ADS toggle to hold. ADS on hold is insanely faster than toggle and adds a level of fluid motion to your peeks due to less clicks. It'll take some time to get used to, but in turn will improve your peeking exponentially. Manipulating the crouch animation is incredibly useful for peeking, since it allows you to move from the stand to crouch position almost instantly. To perform the quick crouch, when strafing left, immediately strafe right and press the crouch button at the same time. If timed correctly, it will bypass the stand to crouch animation completely, and the same can be done in the opposite direction. In the example shown here, this is being done with crouch on toggle. If you're feeling daring, you can try using crouch on hold, where you can see quick crouching is incredibly faster. Out of all the changes I've made in PUBG, moving crouch to hold is probably the hardest transition I've had to make, but just be forewarned, it will take hours of practice to master. I am nowhere close. Once you get the timing down for quick crouching, try incorporating some leans just so you can see how effective this can be during a fight. Next, we're going to go over some do's and don'ts of peeking. Number 1 being don't overpeek or repeek. Overpeeking and holding an angle for too long during a fight is a surefire way to get yourself knocked with ease, especially if you keep repeeking the same angle every time you shoot. If you keep making yourself predictable, you're going to become an easy target. Do peek, shoot, and move. To make yourself less predictable, always stay on the move when in a firefight. When you re-peek, try a different window, or rotate slightly to shoot from a different angle behind a hilltop. The goal here is to keep the other player confused, restricting the information that they need to secure the kill, and giving you the element of surprise to get the pick. The term swing means when you're either running towards a fight to help a friend, third party in an existing fight, or run towards shots that are close to you, and you're charging around corners taking a wide angle. Not only are you exposing your whole body's frame, but also running into a fight is generally never a good idea. Especially if you're in full sprint, the chances are they've already heard you coming and are posted up waiting to get the drop on you. The mannequin in this room is our target. When I charge into this room, I clearly swing around the corner, exposing my entire body, where in most situations a player would have heard me coming and I would have been dropped instantly. The better play here would have been to hug the corner of the archway, listening for any audio cues so I know exactly where to aim as I come around the corner. When hugging corners and peeking, always remember, peeking left exposes way more of your body. Since the rifle is shouldered on the right side of your character, means you have to expose more of your body in order to shoot. Peeking on your right side will always be the most optimal choice, since it minimizes your character's frame and makes you a harder target to hit overall. Slow peeking is exactly what it sounds like, peeking while moving at crouch or walking speed. Slow peeking in a fight is a surefire way to get knocked, but can be effective if done correctly. Regular leaning is rather slow and can even leave your body slightly exposed. But if you lean in the opposite direction after peeking, you move your head and elbow out of the line of fire slightly faster, which in a game like PUBG can make a huge difference. Try incorporating the same movements by pressing the strafe and lean buttons at the same time. This allows your character to move fluidly from side to side when aiming, and with practice can increase your chances of avoiding getting hit. One critical factor in peeking is your character's frame, which is the amount of your player's body that's exposed when aiming and shooting around corners. PUBG severely favors peeking to the right side of your character's body, so use that to your advantage and avoid left side peeks when possible. Another great method that takes advantage of this is called Korean peeking. When Korean peeking, you don't lean, but simply stand or crouch against the corner, which can greatly minimize your character's frame, and it's a smart way to take advantage of sharp angles or aiming through doorways to get shots in without exposing yourself. In the side-by-side comparison, you can see just how much of your head and shoulders are exposed when leaning, opposed to Korean peeking, where the only thing really exposed is maybe your knee and an elbow. And that's it for this video, guys. Hope you found it insightful. If you did, please feel free to like and sub. Again, I'd just like to say thank you guys for your continued support. We crossed the 4,000 subscriber threshold recently, and Can't thank you guys enough for that. So stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Deuces.